Welcome, beautiful sisters. My name is Alasia, and I am the Cosmic Earth Mother and Nurturer of Sanctuary of Sophia. It is a very special time right now as we just recently completed our first ever foundational medicine journey, which is our Sophianic Shamanic Medicine Sisterhood initiation. And the beautiful part of this journey is that it's not only an individual journey, but it is a sisterhood journey together. So this 9-week journey really provides the soul, the foundational medicine and practices to support you on your ascension path, allowing you to stabilize and build on what you learn as you heal, grow, and ascend into your solar divine feminine Christ avatar. So these teachings are really designed to give you inner strength and empower you to guide yourself on your journey with trust and faith, working in harmony with the true organic living light of God and Christ Sophia. And it is a journey that provides authentic, organic connection, safety, integrity, and sisterhood support, really guided by the values of the Holy Mother, Sophia. And it is a group sisterhood initiation, meaning that while we are all individually going through the journey, we are also weaving together as a sisterhood throughout our circles and our forum, supporting one another and witnessing each other's growth and transformation. And so today I have a few of our beautiful founding members who are gracious enough to share with us their experience and give you a glimpse into the magic of the journey, allowing you to feel into the medicine of the container and feel if it feels aligned for you to take this journey to support your sacred divine feminine embodiment process. So I would just like to introduce and welcome 2 of our founding members into this space, as I am going to share some questions and allow them to share their experience. So I would love to welcome Sarah and Megan into the space, my beautiful sisters. Thank you so much for supporting our future potential founding members. I think for this, there's such an element of mystery and magic when you step into a Sophianic shamanic medicine container. And so with the foundational medicine journey, so much of it is meant to be kept, really protected and sacred for those who embark upon it. But then there also are beautiful things to share around what it felt like to go through the experience. And so that's what I would really love to welcome you both to share today, to really give sisters who are feeling into this medicine and into our sisterhood, if this is something that really calls to them, to really get to know how the medicine flows, how our circles work, how our sisterhood connects. And I really appreciate each of you giving your experiences and sharing a little bit of insight into this, because so much of it is a bit of a mystery. So I'm going to just ask a question and then invite each of you to share your experience. And then we'll open it up a little bit at the end for anything else that's left. But I also just really encourage the flow today as well, of just sisterhood weaving in the way that we do. So I'm going to start with Sarah, of asking, what really called you to the foundational medicine journey?
I think what really called me is sacredness, the sacred space. So obviously we knew each other before, and I had already made a decision that you were the person who I wanted to hold space for me, because I'd reached a point where I was surrendering to allowing a sister to hold space for me. It'd been a while, actually, and I'd been doing a lot of internal work. So I'd already made that decision. And I think for me, knowing that the space is so tightly held in some of the core values that that I share, and integrity and authenticity and true safety. So for me, that was where I just melted into that. That was just aligned. So that was what called me initially. Is that really deeply safe space, safe and authentic space? Because we know, don't we, that within that container which you hold so beautifully, the magic just happens.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. This is such a blessing to me as well, to really understand what your journeys have been coming in and throughout. So I feel so really inspired right now to get a glimpse into this, because this is my first time kind of hearing this. So thank you. Thank you, sister. And yeah, same question to Megan. What called you, sister, to the journey?
So it's kind of interesting. I kind of called you, I think. So I was calling sisters. I was calling people, women that were on a similar path and on a similar journey, actively. And because I don't have a lot of you in my 3D life, in my real life. And so when I met you, I felt like an instant connection. And then when you started to explain, honestly, I didn't know, other than it was a group of women who were kind of doing into some of the same things, and ascending and community. And that really spoke to me. That's what I've been asking for. And definitely what came through in such a powerful way. And there were so many other things that came through in addition to that. Like, I don't want to, because I don't know what other questions you're about to ask me. So I don't know like how far to go, but I'm going to stick with the question at hand, which was what called me, is definitely community and sisterhood, for sure.
Aw, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. It was just, I feel that spark that came in right at that beautiful time, where as soon as I met you, I was like, oh, she's coming into the system. I could just feel it. Like it was so beautiful how God brought us together in that beautiful timing. Okay, so the next question is, what were some of your favorite parts about the foundational medicine journey, and what did you love the most?
Oh, this is a hard one. What do you love the most? I think weaving into both. It's interesting, isn't it? Because we tend to focus on classes, but actually with us, I think the sharing circles were my favorite in the end, because they ended up being magical in the sense of everything that weaves and what we receive from that. So that was expansive in a slightly different way, and possibly unexpected as well, because when we first come in, I didn't really have any expectations in that sense. I tried to just, free flow. But having said that, it was a really nice, like, wow, because in the sharing space, like, magic just happens, doesn't it? It's just, so I think that for me was my favorite. And our closing ceremony as well, when we worked with cacao, I haven't ever really connected with her the way that I have recently because of our ceremony as well. So that was really beautiful. I think that was I really loved that. I loved the weaving of her medicine in to support us at the end as well. And it kind of epitomized that combination of really gentle, like that gentleness of the feminine, but also like, boom, I'm here, like quite fierce as well. Just really felt her energy. So that was, yeah, I really loved that. Yeah, but all the classes were great, obviously. It's just that when it comes to what was my favourite, I think the weaving of our shares.
Aw, yeah.
And as well, the women, like, such a intelligent, articulate group of women. It's just an absolute pleasure, isn't it, really, in any space. So yeah, I love that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna second everything you said, Sarah. Like, I had no expectations because I really didn't know what it was. And so I'm like, yay, let's do it. And then I've learned so much in the classes, like so much came through for me. And the classes were amazing, but the circles were really special, definitely. And it is the relationships that were built and just the inspiration. Like, there's so many women that were, I mean, it wasn't so many of us, but the group there, it was such a diverse group from all over the world. And then as well, just the everything that you brought in, that we all brought in. It was magic. It was magic. And then I was evolving at the same time. And as I evolved throughout the course, the sharing supported that evolution and prompted that evolution. It was like this beautiful dance of being supported and then growing at the same time, and then being supported through that. And it was just magical. It was magical. And then of course the closing ceremony was just the cacao. Amazing. And I am excited now to work more with her now that I have created, like, I feel like we really created a relationship with the medicine, and I am so excited to work with her more. And you just kind of, Sarah, you saying that really like solidified that for me, because she's been coming in for me and I'm like, well, should I? And like, I think I should. So yeah, this whole thing.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you, ladies, so much for sharing that. Yeah, I feel like I'm going back through the journey and just feeling and witnessing all the growth and all the magic of the circles and the transformation of all the women, and watching it happen every week with each other. Yeah, it's just, I feel, as you're sharing, seeing the progression. It's, thank you so much for sharing all of that. And it kind of ties into the next question I have, which is, what miracles and magic did you receive? And you're already talking about it, so it's funny.
It's not, I can't even, like, I would, and I've thought this a few times in the last 3 months, I would have needed to have kept a daily journal to remember and actually document the amount of different miracles, magic, synchronicity, shifts, upgrades. It's been absolutely phenomenal. So much going on at such a fast pace for all of us in our own ways individually, and then obviously weaving into the space together. But yeah, there's just been so much. And I think one of the biggest miracles in terms of shifts, like the magical shift that's underpinned everything else recently and throughout this journey, has been deepening towards the beginning, deepening into my communication and relationship with God directly, and really acknowledging, recognizing, embracing the feminine and masculine aspects rather than just lumping everything together in my mind, has enabled me to really start to see the key to really unlocking and letting go of some really core pieces that I've kind of been moving around with for a while and getting a bit frustrated with. So that it's given me a key to get really deep with some of the stuff that's been shown to me for the last year, and I've not quite been able to unlock it. So that's been transformational, because I've done that every single day as like, and now I literally feel like my only task in life is to stay in that alignment. That's literally, I don't care about anything else now. I've started to realize that everything else just kind of falls into place around us. Because that's our magnet, isn't it? That's where we're attracting from, that alignment. So that's been absolute magic. Yeah. And as for, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of things that are shifting and changing. And really, it's us allowing ourselves to, you know, witness and hold everything and be, you know, without getting pulled out of what we're here to do and who we truly are. So yeah, beautiful, magical.
Thank you so much. My heart is really touched hearing all of that, sister. Ooh, and full body chill.
I just love hearing you talk, because like everything you say, I'm like, yes, yes, yes.
I sit here like this, just nodding my head constantly. Yeah, I'm like,
yeah, because it's so true. Like you kept saying the word allowing and aligning, and that is like what, and truly what came through for me is my relationship with God, but the feminine and the masculine, which I didn't honestly even understand until I started this course, like what that is, and understanding it and developing a relationship. And, you know, my husband and I had this beautiful conversation about the feminine, the masculine, and it just like, and everything just clicked. It's like this journey, it had to happen for me to understand truly. And it's like, and it's not even an understanding, it's like a knowing that came through because of this, like just a knowing that, because we can think things in our mind all day long, but when we feel them in our body and in our soul, that's when it really truly like clicks.
yeah.
You know. But there were so many things like on our journey that just shifted. And, you know, with my work, with my business, just understanding motivation and how things were working, and the big picture about a lot of things came through that happened during this journey. A lot of healing happened around my daughter and my relationship with my daughter and my relationship with my feelings and the way that I process the way she relates with her. It just, so many things were healed and unlocked. Like you said, there was a key and things were just unlocked. And then at the very end, you know, I had this expanded awareness around God and the feminine and the masculine. And yeah, like the growth, just the growth. So much growth, truly.
Wow, I'm getting so emotional listening to you both. Like my body is just like activating, and I'm feeling, I feel so grateful, because this was like so much of the intention of the journey. And to hear you speak of it, I'm like, wow, it really worked. And in a way that was so divinely orchestrated and in your own aspects. And I can feel that so deeply. And that's really so much a mission of the sanctuary as well, is of bringing women back to understanding and developing that relationship with God in that way. And you know, it's interesting, this kind of ties into the next question of like, you know, how did this journey support your divine feminine embodiment and expansion? And so I know you both have kind of shared this, but if there's anything else that you want to share around, you know, you stepping more into your divine feminine embodiment, I would be so curious to learn of that.
Yes. Because ultimately the deepest levels of safety, which interestingly I've been guided to work on leading up to this journey, like the last 6 months, and then dropping into that felt sense of safety within the container. Actually, that's what, you know, that's what enables us to really fully be and express who we truly are, because there is no fear of judgment. There's no fear. There's no lower frequency that's supported in that space. So yeah, I've like come online big time. Like my fire is up. There's no messing about anymore. There's no wounded empath. There's no apology for anything. It's like, boom. And that's not to say I'm feeling the need to rush around giving everyone my opinion. I don't mean it like that. In fact, less than ever, if I'm honest with you. I've found a completely new level as well of, and removed any distorted definitions around what it means to be divine feminine, sacred feminine. There's all these kind of pressured perceptions around what divine feminine is or isn't, and a lot of them are patriarchal distortions, and we're not supposed to be, we don't have to be calm and meek, you know, or any particular way. You know, women and men both have the same emotions, traits, whatever. So it's really just about allowing ourselves to be in full expression of who we are, in full love of that and acceptance, with no apology to anyone and no obligation to worry about how the hell that impacts somebody else. So it's just a complete letting go of all of that, and this kind of rebirth in my fierceness and owning it. And I'm absolutely loving it. It's great.
I only know you that way, Sarah. I only know you that way. I can't even imagine you not that way. Like that's who you
Just a
are.
bit more.
Like, you're just fierce. I love it. For me, yeah, like I just understanding myself more, because, you know, understanding who I am as the divine feminine and embodying that, like really, I'm so new to this that it was just like, oh, that's why I'm this way. Get it now? I get it. And oddly enough, like this is just a little side note, like it helps me understand, like I see the mirror of the divine feminine in my own relationship with my partner. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And it helps me understand how we work together, and then how our lives are created around with the principles of the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And it just is like, it is extremely empowering to embody that, and to really like feel it, and again, feel it, not just know it in my mind, but like feel it and embody it. And I've noticed definitely like a shift and with my husband, but as well like in my business, because I am a business owner and I run my own business. And so like really bringing that into my workplace, into my business, and weaving it in, and allowing myself, like you said, Sarah, to just unapologetically be myself, and allow that creativity to flow, and really like just again coming back to allowing it to come through, instead of judging it and is it right, is it wrong, just allowing it. And then I think too, as we align, it just, everything just flows so much easier. It's not such a chore, you know, it's just like it just flows out.
So beautiful.
Oh.
Really, you're a powerhouse.
So are you.
Absolute power. But that was a beautiful share. Beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm feeling so nourished by this conversation, and just feeling, yeah, that fierceness. And I've got to say, seeing you both come more into that divine expression and power inspired me so much. I just felt like the inspiration just never stopped, because there was always somebody having a breakthrough and sharing and like igniting something. And that, I think that ties back into the weaving that we did in our circles all the time, of like, this is happening, and then it just comes in, and it's just so beautiful, because we can't, so much of this is we're not inspired all the time. We're not in a high energy, inspiration, creative flow all the time. Sometimes we come into resting, but then there will be a spark from another sister that ignites something within us. And that's kind of what's happening right now as you both are sharing. So this is just so beautiful. Thank you so much, sisters. So I'm curious of what has been the greatest joy of becoming a founding member of Sanctuary of Sophia for you?
I think the greatest joy is realizing over the time exactly what's happening here. Like everything's just the growth, as Megan was saying, and she was referring individually, but the growth of the container, it has a life of its own. It has work that needs to be done. It's calling for things, it's asking, it's driving this. It has energy. And Sophia, we have the reason that we have our individual missions is for this, right? And it's for the values, that our lineage and that we have in common, and that represent our lineage and our purpose and everything that we've come to do here. And I think the greatest joy for me right now is having realized the depth of that and started to see and be given pieces or little nudges as to how that's going to express, how it's going to look, what roles we might take, all the other sisters and the women and all their individual unique flow and flavor and missions. Like, this is big, there's a lot. So I think for me, that's the greatest joy now, because I didn't really have that awareness fully anchored in like 3 or 4 months ago. I knew what we were doing was big and all the rest of it, but we were all kind of scattered, weren't we? And I'd been in my cave for like months at the end of last year as well. So I was a bit, but now I'm like, wow. And it just fills me full of joy and motivation, energy to take action.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And you struck something with me when you just said that. And it was that we each bring in this part, our talent, our gift, our medicine, right? We each bring this in, and we're so different. We each have this beautiful gift that we are bringing in. And then we are going to take this. Ooh, I just goosebumps, like thinking about bringing in our unique gifts. And because that's the question that I constantly ask, like, why, what am I here to bring? What am I here to give? How am I serving? And, I think that, yeah, you just brought that in for me, that I'm here to give my unique medicine to this space. And that's really exciting. Like, that just like clicked for me just now. And the question was the joy. So that's a new joy for me, but but that's kind of what happened. That's what happened throughout our sharing circles, was just little like, oh. And that to me is so exciting. Like when something clicks and something like, oh, I understand. I okay, now I get it. Now I know what's going on here, just like these little things that pop in for me. And they're not little, they're massive. But and that's, to me, is like extremely exciting and extremely joyful. So that's the joy for me for sure.
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation so much. There's just so much coming in right now, I feel, for our sisterhood. And what you both have shared is really, I'm feeling it so deeply in my heart. And what you said, Sarah, about, 3-4 months ago, like we knew what this was and it was big, but we didn't understand it to the depth. And now, having gone through the full journey and completing it and going through the ceremony, because for me, I don't receive a lot until it's time for me to receive it and to share it. So
Yeah.
I'm also on this, Sophia, she plants these seeds and she shares them with me to guide me enough to bring in the structure and to lay it out, which is what had happened, during the journey. But then there's still so much mystery even to me that, I didn't get the final download for our ceremony until the day before. And so, it's like understanding the Sophianic mysteries of Sophianic medicine, and that's how it works. And so I think for women coming into this, understanding you may not really understand what it all is yet, but you will. And as founding members staying connected in the sisterhood, we're going to continue to receive. So we have just barely like scratched the surface. And I think that's what's so exciting, is that with every new circle of founding members that comes in, we're just anchoring those pillars of protection of the sanctuary, which means we can receive bigger, more massive pieces, which is crazy to me because I feel like we've already received so many things. So, but that's like what's coming in as we're sharing this. And yeah, it's just really exciting because I think of how amazing our circle of women is that have taken this first journey, and we're lighting the beacons and we're calling the rest of our sisters home who are called to this medicine. And like Megan said, sharing their unique medicine in this space, because that is what it is designed to do. And it's meant to activate our medicine so we can take it out into the world and do what we need to do as individuals, and then come back to our home in the sanctuary to weave together as the sisterhood. And yeah, it just gets me so fired up. So it kind of ties into the next piece here, which is, how would you describe how you felt about sisterhood before the journey, and what does sisterhood mean to you now? Right? Such a loaded question.
It's a good question. And potentially quite a provoking question, isn't it? I mean, I have largely healed any sort of past, sisterhood wounds. I think when I first came into women's circles, that's a different kettle of fish. So that wasn't applicable for me. However, I have, as we all have, been called into deeper discernment over the last year, and I'd got to the point where I wasn't really in any circles at all. So it was the first one that I've been called to, let's just put it like that. And I feel like that was allowed by the space being authentic and held with integrity. And these are what you mentioned before, about knowing or understanding things. This is a felt medicine. This is a felt sense thing that we do here, isn't it? So, and equally, I think, trusting that felt sense of safety and authenticity, because I feel like that is so apparent. It's present. And it's just really leaning into that, because like we were saying earlier, that's where the magic can happen. And I think I knew that that was possible. I kind of knew that it would be everything that, I felt it would, but then to actually feel that is, again, it's the felt sense, and it's a very beautiful and powerful space. of complete ease. And I honestly think as women, we don't always have complete ease in very many areas of our life. You know, we're always standing on ceremony for somebody, or waiting on someone, or running around doing something, or a lot of women have these very busy kind of lives. And I think this space is an absolute it's like home, isn't it? It's just a complete rest to the soul, and yeah, complete ease and relaxation. So it's a really beautiful gift.
I love the way you say things, Sarah. They're so beautiful. They're just so beautiful. It's just so, I mean, it's like poetry. I didn't know what to expect. I've never done anything like this in my life. So I've never done a circle. You know, I've never done anything like this via Zoom either. So for me, I was like, this will be interesting. I was like, how are we going to create relationships on the computer? It just felt I was open because I'm very open to new things, and I didn't want to put any expectations on it, but I was also very like, okay, is this really gonna happen? And it did. And we created beautiful bonds via Zoom. And yeah, it completely exceeded, because again, I went into it blind, so I didn't know what to expect. And so it just blew me away, the relationships and like you said, Sarah, like just the ease, like the fact that I felt like we could really just be who we are truly. And I feel like that is a very, very rare thing. And to speak to such really deep, core, important values and conversations that we're having that are just like, I've never had conversations like this before. So to me, it was just so expanding and so, expanding. I'm going to use that word because I think that that's what it did for me and I think I've said that earlier, like I just feel expanded through this.
Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing how it felt for you. Oh, that is how it is meant, how it was conceptualized to me, is like coming home into the arms of your true mother, of Sophia. This is her sanctuary, and it's like, how can we cultivate that and not having to be perfect or show up, in a perfect form? It's like just being ourselves. So thank you for sharing that, because that's a really important piece, because we're not all going to be in a blissed out state, that's just not realistic. Real life happens. We're going through things, and like the circles, that is what it's here, and it's alchemizing and transmuting as we're sharing. And so I think for me, a massive part of this sisterhood is like, I want every sister to feel like she can be herself, and she doesn't have to be anything other than who she is, no matter where she finds herself on her journey, as long as, her heart and her intentions are there and pure. And because it's important to honor all the stages, the rebirth that we go through as well, and all the versions of us that we shift and change into. So with that, sisters, just the final question here, and anything else you want to add is, what would you say to any sisters who are considering investing into the foundational medicine journey and saying yes to this initiation? What wisdom would you like to share with them around this experience? Anything you feel called to share?
Wow. Well, if you're feeling the call, you're feeling the medicine, it's calling your soul, it's calling you home. yeah, you couldn't be welcomed in a more beautiful space. And really, as much as this is an individual journey for you as well, the availability is there for true support and connection, and really weaving and building these new connections and relationships is our support system of the future, isn't it? You know, even if we're not all in person, you know, we're aligning with our soul family now. And it's a really beautiful and powerful process to just, you know, lean into that support. So if it's calling you, I would definitely just go for it. And you know, this space is really special. It's really special, and there's so much potential for everything that is coming from this medicine as well. You know, this is rebirth for all of our unique path, but also together as well, and the reclamation of the sacred feminine. So yes, welcome.
Beautiful, Sarah. Again, I would definitely say, you know, if you are called, or if you're calling out as I was, this is an amazing experience to grow and I think you said it beautifully, Sarah, with be supported and be held in such an authentic way, and that we as women are not usually held in. It's just such a unique experience, that, yeah, go for it, definitely, like 100%, 100%.
Aw. Aw, thank you both so much. Thank you so much for your honest reflections and your wisdom and sharing your medicine in this space. I feel like this was such an important piece to bring in. I'm receiving that now, that like what we've just shared, the three of us here in this beautiful smaller circle of our bigger circle here, is really providing a beautiful gateway into the gates of the sanctuary. And I just, from my heart, deeply thank you, Megan, and you, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing these incredibly authentic and heartfelt experiences with our sisters who are coming in, you know, because I can feel them all starting to come in. And you know, it's so exciting to think that there are more beautiful women, our soul family, like you said, Sarah, our sisterhood, you know, Sanctuary of Sophia, our sisterhood lineage is an ancient sisterhood. And even though we may not remember everything yet, it's because we're remembering together. And so even if some of this stuff seems foreign to you, you know, it is a felt experience. And you both expressed that so beautifully, that the medicine is calling to you. It is a felt experience when you feel it in your body, when you have those chills, when you feel that relax, that ease, knowing that this is calling to you, you know, you can trust that. That's part of the medicine, and that's Sophia calling you home. And it's truly been like such an honor to witness you both and to witness all of our sisters. And I just thank you so much for taking the time to do this today. It really means a lot to me. You know, this was a lot for me to even ask for this, but I understood that it was really important for our sisters to see this.
You're welcome. It is, yes, absolutely. And yeah.
And I felt that too. I felt that it was important for, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for this experience too, to really tell you how powerful it was, because it really was extremely powerful. And to thank you for this experience, because you brought this together. And so thank you.
Yeah, thank you, darling. You've done amazing.
Thank you so much. I love you both so much. And for any sisters who are here watching this and you feel called to join the foundational medicine journey, please reach out to me. The application process starts with a one-on-one sister chat where we get on a Zoom call and we just chat. And I kind of take you through a little bit of the process and we feel into it together to see if it is aligning for you. And yeah, we also have other different experiences and things we're offering. But for this particular journey, this is the true Sophianic shamanic medicine sisterhood initiation for women who are ready to rapidly expand and accelerate their divine feminine embodiment process. And with that as well, as you come into this space, you'll also be able to connect with our beautiful sisters here, Megan and Sarah, and all of our other founding members who are all incredibly, unbelievably deep and wise women in our circle. Every sister who's taking her place in the circle is incredibly wise and has beautiful medicine to share. So you'll also be gaining access to being in the presence of incredible women who are walking this path. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your presence. Thank you, my beautiful sisters. I love you so much. Thank you for all of your beautiful reflections today. And I take this moment to send you all so many blessings from my heart with deep love and gratitude. And I hope to see you soon. And yeah, many blessings as you walk your sacred path, sister. Thank you so much.
Bye, sisters.